dudes and dudettes. Okay, welcome to the first weathering. I don't want to say the word tutorial. I hate that word. This is the way I do it. Okay, so different things work for different oaks, and that's all good. All right, now first off, these wagons were either red or grey, with the grey ones being way more numerous than the red ones. So this one, he's already got two red ones, so this is going to be grey. Now, it being a grain wagon, anyway, with it being a grain wagon, the dust and stuff on it will be of a lighter color than, say, for instance, a coal wagon. So I normally do it like if I have something transporting iron ore or whatever, I go for a red base coat. If I've got something like grain, I go for white. If I don't care, I normally try and stick to body color. But if I want something to have natural shades, I normally use black. But for this one, we're going to do it in white. Now, first things first. This is the one we did the steps for last night. So first things first, it was handled the last couple of days. It just came off the printer. So first thing you do before you spray anything is, you steal the magic wand. Now, I need to warn you, if you have an arty other half and you steal these, it gets written in a little black book. And one day, if something goes wrong, this will be brought up. Okay, it irritates the crap out of them if you steal these. But, you know, the bristles are very nice and, stiff. And this is excellent for getting rid of dust. So first things first, we just brush it. Get rid of, like most of the dustiness. You got to be on a lazy Susan. Not, okay, no, because don't go there. All right, so without, just dust off most of the stuff. Where you think there's a little bit of dust. And then once you've loosened that, before you put anything in your airbrush, just go. Just give it a light dusting, a light air spray and whatever. Now, we get to the top later. I like to do the bottom of these things first. Now, normally you got to be careful for the steps, that you don't stuff up the steps. All right, I'm going to do this whole thing in acrylics. I haven't done it for a while. I normally use the Rust-Oleum, which is solvent-based, but I want to do one in acrylics and see, for that GE that's standing there. I still have a funny feeling that even if you let the primer dry completely and you use a solvent-based primer, that it does react with the Tamiya acrylic paint when you put it over small little bubbles and stuff. Not sure, don't quote me on that, but yes. All right, so now I've got the compressor there at 1.2 bar, which is what in foreign, 15, 16, 17, about 18 PSI around there. All right, first things first, acrylic primer, Green Stuff World. Because it's primer, I want to go on slightly thinner than what it is in the bottle. So I go roughly 1/3 thinner and then a 2/3 paint. Primer, paint, same thing. All right. Now, this is not, I love stirring my crap with a cable tie. And I can tell you that Ooh, that will give you a special effect, like the inside of the North African bush tortoise. No, it was just that what was lying around. Okay, right, so you got your white now. So now we're just gonna prime this. And you know the drill. What is very nice about that will happen. That will happen. Now, like I said before, go in hard, it doesn't matter, this is primer. The Green Stuff World Primer is a very, very good primer. Doesn't run easily, you can go in very, very thin, and gives a good base for acrylic paints. Just make sure that everything underneath here from the bottom up has a coat. So you can even do a little coat like that there. Okay, not too crazy. Refill time. A good way of making a milkshake. Just stirring the stuff. That always put your thinner in first. Now yolks know that. Put your thinner in first, your paint on top. Just makes mixing easier. If you have stirred it, just give it, close the tip, give it a bit of a bubble, and off you go. So I'm not too worried about this at the bottom. You know, just cover so that you have a little thing going there. All right. And off we go. Always go underneath there just so that you get all the parts that normally makes a shade. You know, just get all those. You know, there's a big difference between painting, weathering a factory paint job and painting stuff from scratch. You guys know that. You know, this is completely different ball game. Now the other thing is when you put your base coat on, you know, there's no need here to plaster it on really. This was actually a really good print. All right, then get it upright. And now we're going to do the top. So there we are. There's a little bit of paint left. We can just Now for the top, when I cover the body, I actually go slightly thicker on the paint. So where we went 1/3 here, I just slightly thin it for the top. Probably about 10% thinner. And then I chuck a lot of paint in there to get it as thick as possible. And to do the top coat. And on the top, I actually do a coat, let it dry, do another coat if needs be. This is just, you know, to get rid of all the sanding marks and pen marks where you marked out where you put stuff and da 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 da. Okay, so don't go too crazy here. Take your airbrush away, further away from the model. Do not do like I did underneath there and hammer it with paint. The biggest thing is be patient. All right? Dust it first. Okay? Because we are running thinner. You do not want a run here. If you have a run, that is very, very irritating. So what I've found before is if you do that light dusting, it already gives a sort of a layer, a sticky layer if you want to call it that, for your next layer of primer. I mean, that's what primer does. It gives a layer for your top layer. As I was saying before it interrupted, it gives a layer for your top layer to cling to. Now, if you have it dusting down and you come with your second layers, even on primer, you can go a bit more aggressive because you limit the ability for the paint to run. You see, your biggest enemy in doing airbrushing the whole thing, especially on a print, is that you can run. There can be runs. Don't want that. I hate runs. Try and steer clear of them. You know, don't be patient. That's the main thing. Be patient. Do not force it. I can feel it in my lower back that I want to force this because you oaks are looking at me. You see. So let's not do that. Okay. And then you see the top here where we have all the resin. These are all resin bits. And you just blend the color in there. Be careful of resin. When you spray onto resin, it normally has the tendency to run. Right, there's the first dusting done and dusted. So get some stuff out here. A skin. Right, so a little bit of thinner. But I must just show you, I'm talking about green stuff. Well, it's these oaks, matte surface primer, green stuff. Well, these oaks got absolutely ridiculously good stuff. Their paint's extraordinary. You know that it's not more popular in the model world is beyond me, because I've pretty much painted with everything this far, and maybe it's because I don't open these little things from the factory, and I've never ever had a problem with inconsistency in paints or stuff not covering. Their paint probably covers better than most. They absolutely brutal paints. Okay, so this was the one we did first. You will see that it gets a dullness. Now you can chuck the second coat at it. Bring the brush closer. Easier on the trigger. The closer you get to this thing, the easier you have to be on that trigger. Now you can get rid of all the pen marks. Now you can chuck paint at it. Not be afraid. You can cover now. You don't have to put the pressure down. You can leave the pressure where it is. Fine. Now on the side, obviously, you've got to stay close, but be careful that you don't run. We just carry on and on and on until it's done. check your consistency. All right. A little bit, yeah. Sommer inpin. Okay, now that's basically covered. Now we let that settle. And then after we've done this, wait, we'll just cover there. Pen marks. There. Now we leave it to dry. I'm going to put it outside in the sun now. Leave it to dry. Let it do its thing. Then you come back in and now you see where you still have to sand, because now every imperfection is visible. You will see where there was problems on the sanding or whatever, and then you can just touch it up. And then we put another coat on, but we'll get to that later. Let me go put it in the sun. Okay, dudes, light this.